So just like I've been saying in most of my posts, you don't need another trick. You need a solution. You need reassurance, you need confidence, so you can go from one step of being, to, I got this. So I know there's a lot of people that really just want something quick and dirty and just be able to just get the score that they want on whatever exam it is and then move on. But that's not how it works. I'm not going to feed you any foolishness. I'm just going to get right down to it. In order for you to be successful in anything, you have to take risks and you have to take a step and get things moving. So if you are waiting for people to basically take it and do it for you, you're going to continue to wait. So this is what I'm trying to say to you. When it comes to any of the Algebra 1, Algebra 2, any of the general math classes for students that are currently here, and a lot of people are still working on their final exams. This is the final week for some people, especially Maryland, and I think Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. Then you also have people that already started summer school, that they're going back to college, and they're trying to get their GED, their ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, or even score high on that ACCUPLACER so they don't have to take any intermediate math classes. But no matter what, you still have to put the work into play. And I know why it's hard for you. Not just because you've been away from it for a minute, it's because we have gaps in our learning. And some people think, oh, it's just a little hiccup, but those little hiccups add up towards the end. So for those that don't know me, my name is Audrey Codner, and I'm the owner of Math by Audrey, as well as ACG Math Tutoring. And what I do on this platform is I like to break down concepts to show you that you can take the same steps, maybe some alternative steps, to help you get you to that right answer, especially if you're just coming back to the classroom. So I'm really talking about those 20 plus, maybe those 30 plus, that's returning back to the classroom after being gone for a long time, and you need to take an assessment in order for you to handle whatever change of career you're about to do. So what I like to do is basically take things step by step. We are living in a world of instant gratification, but guess what, guys? You don't have to be a robot in order to compete. There are going to be times that when you're learning something for the first time, you need each individual step. It's only after a few times of exposure, then you can do shortcuts. Then you can do quick tips. But for right now, if it's been a while and it's been a minute, this is the live for you. So let's get started, right? Today I just feel like just getting started, enough of all the hoopla. So our very first problem that we're going to do tonight is dealing with solving. And I want to hear, or basically see, when you first see this problem, how do you feel? Okay? What is your initial reaction? Put it in the comments. When you see this problem, what is your initial reaction? And be truthful, don't hold anything back. Is this bee crazy? What is this? I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. Why is this existing? Whatever you're feeling. Big Al is crying. No crying, Big Al. Okay? So is that Free Willy is saying like a form of PEMDAS, except for there's an I in there. Okay? So BODMAS formula. Okay? So what else? How are you feeling with this? Thank you guys for coming on in. I appreciate it. Okay, hello T Lone Hill. How are you? Being stressful? There you go. Thank you, MJ, for your honesty. I appreciate you. Hey, Danny Boo. I'm good on this. Okay, joke. No, you're speaking the truth. All right? So that's what happens when the test comes about. When you see a math problem, it doesn't matter if it's naked math like this or if it's in a word problem. You will still get that sense of anxiety. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. So this is when, after you do a lot of practice, now when you see something like this, you say, all right, are we dealing with an expression or an equation? Okay? You're struggling with everything on the GED, and that's all right, Teen Loan. You're in the right spot. I'm going to walk you through it. Okay? Good. This is a great question. It almost escaped me. Where'd it go? All right, Art. Let me pin you up. She's like, no, don't pin me. I'm going to pin you. All right? So, first thing, and I know a lot of people think this, where do I start? Okay? So first off, I notice there's an equal sign. So that's telling me I'm solving for, and I notice it's the same variable, so I'm solving for x. So if I look here on this right-hand side, I have 3x and I have a negative 10. They're not like terms, so I can't do anything further with them. But it seems like all the fun and the action is happening over here on the left-hand side. So let's cover up that right-hand side and then focus right here on the left. It's going to get blurry for a second. I just wanted to clear up a bit. Really didn't do much of anything, but here we are. So now, in order for us to do this, we always have to do, and I'm going to put it here on the side, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or BOD, almost got to BODMAS, all right? There is order in everything that we do, okay? There is order in everything that we do. So if we take a look, we can look inside the parenthesis. We have a 2x and we have a negative 1. Since they're not like terms, and how do I know? This 1 doesn't have an x next to it, but the 2 does. So in order for me to combine them, they both have to have the same variable as well. So parentheses is done. Do we have any exponents? I don't see any. That's done. So now the next part is multiplying or dividing from left to right. That's what this is saying, okay? So do I have online classes? Yes, I do. Just go ahead and reach out to me, okay? Send me a message, okay? And I'll reach out to you after the live. So now we're doing either multiplying or dividing from left to right. Well, we have multiplication, and that multiplication is happening right here. Notice I'm not stopping at the positive 4. I'm including that minus sign. This minus sign is actually a negative for this 4. So I'm actually distributing negative 4 to everything inside of the parenthesis. Okay? So once I do this, the 6 that's on the outside stays on the outside, and I'm just bringing it down. So now we have negative 4 times 2x. A negative times a positive will give me a negative. 4 times a 2, that will give me 8. And there's only one x. Okay? Now this is the part that screws a lot of people up, especially with large problems like this or expanded problems like this. Everyone forgets to distribute the negative 4 to the negative 1. A lot of people will just simply bring down that minus 1. No. It's almost like if you have a pack of gum and these are your 2 friends, if you only give gum to one friend and not to the other, oh yeah, you're calling for some trouble. Okay, so now we have a negative 4 times a negative 1. This minus sign is acting as a negative for the 1. So a negative times a negative, that gives me positive. And 4 times 1 gives me 4. And then I'm simply bringing down the plus x. And we'll worry about the equal sign in a moment, because right now we're just going to focus on the left-hand side. All right? So with that being said, now we're no longer dealing with anything up there. We're going to cover that. I'm actually going to cover it this way, so I don't want to cover up my PEMDAS. So now we took care of multiplication. Do we have any division? Which we don't. Why does it act as a negative? Minus signs are also negatives because you're taking it away. You're taking whatever that amount away. And your signage is always in front or to the left of the number. That's why, with my smiley face, I think. All right, so we don't have any division. So boom, that's done. Now we're looking at either addition or subtraction from left to right. So the only things I can combine, and I'm going to put it in little makeshifts, I can only combine the -8 with this positive x, and I can only combine this positive 6 with this positive 4. Okay, do you see it? Good. There you go, Moneybags. There you go. There you go. Minus and negatives are the same. You're still taking away. Okay. All right, Jersey, I see you. So now I like to do my variables first. So we have -8 and a positive 1. If you don't see a number there, it's assumed to be a 1. So it's almost like I was short $8. You paid me $1. Now I'm still short $7. Okay, so you can think of it that way. Thank you, Becky. I see you. Thank you. So now I'm going to combine the other set of like terms, which is the 6 and the 4. 6 plus 4, that gives me a positive 10. All right. So just like we mentioned earlier, we have a -7x plus 10. These are not like terms. We cannot combine them to make into 1, a -17x, or 2, a 3x, because that 10 does not have an x. They are not like terms. Okay? So now, since we can't combine anything else over here, I'm going to bring this down, and then I'm going to also bring down, almost forgot what it was. Here we go. My -3x minus 10. Okay. Now, this is what gets a lot of people. Okay? When you have a variable on both sides of the equal sign, so I'm going to treat the equal sign as if it was like a barrier. Okay? This is the left side equal sign, this is the right side equal sign. I cannot, and I repeat, cannot just combine -7 plus 3x to get -4x. No. You need to bring all your variables on one side, and it doesn't matter if you want to bring it on the left-hand side or if you want to bring it to the right-hand side. You have to make a decision. Okay, a lot of teachers will say, keep it to the left. Okay, but you're going to get the same answer either way. So if I want to bring this 3x over to the left-hand side, it's a positive 3x. This minus sign is attached to the 10, okay, not the 3x. The 3x signage is to the left of it. If you don't see anything there, that means this is positive. The inverse of positive is negative. So I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. What happens to the 3x's over here? I have a positive 3x and a negative 3x. So that will cancel to give me 0, not 0x. The x's are gone. Okay? If I had $3 here and I spent $3, that means I'm broke as hell. Okay? That means I don't have any money. So nothing is left. And I don't need to put that 0 as a placeholder because I still have this -10 here. And that -10 is going to come down. Okay, bring my equal sign. Then over here, I have my positive 10. Now I have a negative 7 plus a negative 3. Notice how I said it. Because for some reason in our brains, when I say negative 7 minus 3, you're thinking, oh, it's a negative 4. Even though you can clearly see that both of them are negative. So if they're the same signs, you are adding them together. So you have a negative 7 plus a negative 3. That means you're further going down the negative line. So that will be a negative 10x. Okay. All right. I see you guys' answers. There we go. Now, we need to isolate our variable. That is the whole reason why we're doing this. We want to know what x equals. Okay? What is that number that's going to make that original equation into a true statement? So that means this negative 10x is going to stay right where it is. So what needs to go to the other side so it can be isolated? This positive 10. And how do I get rid of this positive 10? I got to think of its inverse. The inverse or the opposite of plus is minus. And whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other. Okay? It's just like lifting. You don't want to have a huge upper body and then sticks for legs. Get a leg day in. Even it out. Looks crazy. All right? So now we have a positive 10 and a negative 10. So if I had $10 and I spent $10, boom, that's 0. Okay, I'm broke again. But I don't need the 0 as a placeholder because I'm bringing down that negative 10x. What do I get on this side? T-Lone, I try to come on every day at 7. That's my goal. Well, now that things are going pretty well. Hello. You might be cooked. Why are you going to be cooked? Okay, Marcel, thank you. Negative 12. Florida, negative 20. Thank you, Big Al, negative 20. I see you, Tony. Okay. So, someone from another, is that Irie? The same with the 0. Okay, not a problem. Just make the corrections. It's all right. Okay, GC with negative 20. Okay, last couple minutes ago. Yep, I got you. See, for me, like people that are new to my live, I take my time because I'm basically helping the people that have math trauma. Not really the people that are currently taking pre-calculus or calculus and you're like, man, this is mad easy. I'm speaking to those that haven't seen this since they were a fetus, and now all of a sudden they have to take a test that is going to be a timed assessment on this stuff, and they're on their freak out mode, and I'm trying to calm people down. That's how I do things, nice and slow. If it's too slow, I appreciate you coming in, but this is the pace that I go, okay? All right, slow and steady. Got you. All right, so you guys are correct with my negative 20, because if both of them are the same signs, you're adding them together. So it's the same as saying negative 10 plus negative 10. That will give me a negative 20. All right. So now we're almost done. We need to get x by itself. What do we need to do? What do we need to do to get x by itself? Yes, we're going to divide. There you go. Lil, I see you. Math, word, associate. Yes. Oh, commutative. Yep, commutative. So even if you have your x on the right-hand side, it can be the same because the way you commute from home to work is usually the same route. All right. So we're going to divide by that negative 10. Because negative 10 divided by negative 10 gives me a 1. But when I bring down the x, that 1 is understood to be in front of that x. So just like most of you guys are telling me, we have a negative divided by a negative. And this is when I start seeing two answers. I saw a lot of positive 2's, but I also saw some negative 2's. So let's take a look at it. There you go. So negative divided by a negative, when the signs are the same with multiplication or division, your answer is always going to be positive. Okay? And then since they both end with 0, you can cancel out the one set of zeros. So now instead of looking at it as a 20, you got a negative 2 divided by a negative 1, which still gives you x equals 2. All right? So, spanning up, we started with this, and most of us was having like a mental freak out and wondering, does God hate me? No, God does not hate you. God loves you, okay? But then we went through this step by step. We handled what was going on the left side by using PEMDAS, right? And then once we got it simplified, that's when we brought down the right side and we continued on. All right, so we're just breaking it on down. So no matter what, there is an order. So it doesn't matter if you have something as complex as this. Now, if you see, especially for my GED people, okay, my ASVAB people, you might see something more like this. Okay, this line right here. And what to do. So if you can get, let me cover this part up, but if you can get from here down, guess how many points this will be? Guess how many points? Remember, your test scores goes up from 1 to 4. Guess how many points this equation will be? Wild stab. Number between 1 and 4. Even if you're not taking the GED. What do you think? 1 being mad easy, 4 being pretty difficult. Okay, so Gabrielle is saying 4, notification saying 3. Okay, Aries saying 5. It only goes up to 4, so I'll count that as a 4. Okay, Rena is saying 4, Big Al saying 3. Okay, Richard saying 4. Yeah, I actually do read your names off. If they're not going mad fast, yes. Amy Lee saying 4, Millie saying 4, Shanice saying 4. Okay, give me one more person. Oh, I'm not a genius, Ricky, but I appreciate you. This is a 4-point question. Because you have a variable on both sides of the equal sign, when you have a variable on one side of the equal sign, even with the multiplication, like the parenthesis, like we started up here, that will be a 3-point question. But having a variable on both sides of the equal sign is considered a 4-point question. The reason why a lot of people generally get stuck with these type of problems. So they up the ante. So if you can get this from here down to here, and you felt really comfortable about that, that's 4 points. That's 4 points. And if you're a type of person that was 3 or 2 points away, it's probably because you probably skipped or you got something wrong, maybe because of the signs. All right? So we have to pay attention to the signs when we come to the solving. All right? So you need to study? Yes. Shandy Boo, I see you. Okay? Need you as my tutor. But here's the thing. You can have me as your tutor without paying crazy tutor prices. Because what I did, I noticed that there was a lot of people that need help. And what I did was I sat my butt down one day and I created a whole book. Algebra at Your Pace. The reason why I call it Algebra at Your Pace is because when people go back to, say, community college and they're trying to go, say, their GED classes and everything, the first thing that everyone always complained about was the pace. Then the second was the content, because there was a lot of stuff that was missing. So instead of a regular workbook that just gives you a whole bunch of worksheets, what I did was there's a QR code right here. And when you scan the QR code, it will take you, first you have to send an email. And then after I get the email so I can see who you are, you will get a playlist of me doing instruction for each of the topics. So this one's with positive and negative decimals. This one deals with fractions. This one deals with dividing integers, multiplying integers, okay, subtracting, adding, and then the very first one deals with the types of numbers that you're going to see. They always ask you one or two questions. GED, high school equivalency, ASVAB, they always ask you at least one question. They'll say, is the square root of 2 a rational number, an irrational number, a complex number, or a whole number? Well, we know it's not going to be a whole number because it's a square root. And then you're sitting here thinking, oh, what's the difference between rational and irrational? I help you with that. Okay, so I break it on down. So this is available in my stand store. So if you want, I would love to know which test you're taking and how you're preparing, and just send me a message. Okay, go ahead and send me a message. The riverboat way, okay? Oh, okay, traveling, right? So this now, for people that have been on my lives before, not only do you get a whole bunch of resources in the back of the book, all in color, right? I also give you some flashcards. So flashcards to give you some extra practice on what? Exponents. This side is the questions, this side is your answer, all right? So that kind of gives you a little bit with volume 1. Then I expanded to volume 2, okay, with factoring, order of operations. Then it continues with volume 3, which we just did, solving equations. 1-step, 2-step, multi-step equations. Volume 4, linear equations. Okay, how to do with slope, the equation of the line, how to, we did this yesterday, we did some graphing. Okay, we did a little bit of graphing. We talked about the different, how to graph parallel and perpendicular lines we talked about before, and the slope-intercept form and the point slope form. And every book has a quiz. So you can see if, hey, I'm doing good with that particular. There's not just a quiz at the very end of the whole series. It's a 10-book series. And then my next example is going to be coming straight out of this book. All right? So this book, definitely message me. MJ, message me. Just message me the word math, M-A-T-H. Okay? As soon as this live is over, that'll be great. Now, if you can also tell me which test you're taking and how you're preparing for it, that'll be awesome as well. Because I don't want you to just message me and say hi. Because a lot of my scammer friends, as I call them, love to say that. Okay? So what we're going to be doing is not so much the inequalities. We have done some stuff with systems, but I want to walk you through absolute values. Because absolute values, guess what? Another 4-point question. Another 4-point question. So if you're ready for me to show you the absolute values, I can talk more about these books after that problem. So if you're ready to see that problem, type yes in the comments. Okay, if you're ready to see another problem, type yes in the comments. Give me some time to clean up. Okay, so Millie's like, yes. All right, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to be checking messages as soon as the live is over. Okay, so I got some yes, I got some big L's, yes. Got T-Lone, yes. Got little Nia, yes. Okay. All right, I just need one more and I'll be good to go and I can get myself started. And thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. There you go, Princess. Thank you. All right, so we are done with this one. I'm going to see if I can save this paper to do a little bit of something. All right. All right. Hey, John. How are you? Let me move this down a tad bit. Humble, I see you. Good. All right. So let's see. When you look at this, and I'm going to ask this every time, because taking these tests, it is emotional. So you have to connect with the emotion, identify it, and then be able to control it. We don't want you having a whole hard panic, ready to pass out. That's not going to help you. You just wasted money on a test, and you're not going to be able to redo it without repaying it again. Okay? So tell me how you're feeling. Looks like combined like terms. Okay? Thank you for saying that. Okay? Mato, I see you. Big Al, I see you. Okay? All right? Now, before we can go into this, okay? Before we can go into this, we have to realize what are absolute values. All right? Oh, thank you. What is an absolute value? Easy definition is your distance away from zero. How far you are away from zero. So let's say here is positive 5. I'm looking at a number line. Here is negative 5. So if we're starting at 0, let me pull this down for a second. Say this is your home. You have a friend that lives 5 blocks away. To the right. And you have another friend. Hey, that's fun. They're 5 blocks away. To the left. Although this person is 5 blocks away and we're saying it's negative 5, that person is still literally 5 blocks away, but in the opposite direction. That's why absolute values are always positive. So if we have the absolute value of 5, that's going to give me 5. And if we have the absolute value of negative 5, that's also going to give you 5. This is why absolute values answers are always 5. Okay? So we have to take into effect when we're solving the 2 possible solutions that we can get. So now I'm going to cover this up so we can focus here. Okay, I can show it again so you can take a picture of it. So that means we're splitting our absolute value into 2 equations. Now, the first equation, because that's why when you only give me one answer, you're only giving me part. Okay, you're only giving me part of the solution. So the first one is going to be exactly what you see without the absolute value signs or symbols. So that means we have 2k plus 3 is equal to 11. Okay, looks simple, looks easy. The second equation, very similar. Everything inside the absolute value is exactly the same. That does not change. But what does change, what it equals. Notice originally it was a positive 11. Now we have the negative 11. There you go. Thank you, Maya. All right, or Mia. No, Maya. Okay? So we're solving 2 equations. We don't have to solve both equations at the same time. Okay? So we don't have to get that crazy. We don't need to be that delusionally crazy. So let's solve this left one first. So we have, oops, wrong one. 2k plus 3 equals 11. There you go. So we're going to subtract 3 on both sides. Because the goal is anytime we're trying to solve for a variable, which in this case is k, we are trying to isolate that. So positive 3 and minus 3 will give me 0. But I don't need to put that 0 as a placeholder because on the same side of the equal sign, I still have this 2k. And the 2k can come on down. So now on the right-hand side, we have 11 minus 3. Okay, so we got our 8. Good, 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 good. Good. So now we have 2k is equal to 8. Nice. There you go, Big Al. I see it now. So that means we have to do the inverse of multiplication, which is division. And 2 divided by 2, that gives me 1, or 1k. The 1 is understood to be in front of the k because there's physically 1k right there. Okay? And then we have our 8 divided by 2, which gives us our 4. All right. How are we doing? Thumbs up, thumbs down, confused? Where are we? Okay, Big Al's got my thumbs up. How's everyone else? Everyone's good? Are we all in agreement with Big Al? Different? Okay, Millie, thank you. All right. Maya, yes. Tolo, yes. There you go. All right. There we go. Okay with the princess? I get that. I was confused for a second, but you got it. Awesome. Nice. So now, done with this one. Slide it over. Now we're going to work on this other equation. And if you haven't noticed, it's basically starting out the same way as we did for the first equation. We're still going to subtract 3. But don't think because we're going to subtract 3, we're going to get the same result. Work it all the way through. Positive 3 minus 3, that gives me 0. Bringing down the 2x, okay, that sounds very similar. Okay. But negative 11 plus negative 3. Okay. During the test time, I freeze up. Thank you, Millie. Thank you for saying that because I know you're not by yourself. Ooh, got a little crazy. All right. You're not by yourself. And it's not because you don't know it. It's how you're practicing. All right? It's how you're practicing. Okay? Exactly. See? You weren't by yourself. There's someone else said the same thing. Okay? So when you have the same and you're combining, both of them are negatives, that means we're adding them together and keeping the signage. So now, yeah, this is a K. It is a K. But remember, it's a variable. So we're still dividing by 2. So 2 divided by 2 will gives me 1K, or just K. Now negative 14 divided by 2 gives us our negative 7. All right. Okay, so that 14 is a negative 14. AMV. All right. Hey, sweet K. Okay, so it is going to be, there you go. There you go. Now, there's going to be times that we're going to have to, and my sun was going down. So there's going to be times there's going to have to be, you might have to plug it in to see if those two are our real solutions. So all you have to do is check it. So if I plug that 4 where the K is, 2 times 4 gives me 8. 8 plus 3 gives me 11. And the absolute value of 11 does give me 11. So that works. Yay. If I plug a negative 7 in for the K, 2 times negative 7, that gives me negative 14. Negative 14 plus 3, signs are different, so we're subtracting. That gives me a negative 11. And the absolute value of a negative 11 is 11. So that checks out as well. Okay. All right. So that's how I break it down. Okay, that's how we break all this stuff down, step by step. Now, soon enough, some of these examples are going to tend to repeat because that's what it is. I want to make sure that I'm hitting on some of those concepts, but if you are serious about, hey, I need assistance, not a problem, Ellie. You definitely want to take a look at Algebra at Your Pace. You can buy this book on the A, okay, because it's Prime Days. So when I'm talking about the A, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so you can buy the book on the A. This is like the prime time, so if you want to, obviously there's major discounts. But you also can order it as a digital copy. The digital copy is like $12.99. Okay, I do have all the sources of it. Once the live is over, you can go to my profile and you can see there is going to be a link. But I'm kind of curious, if I may, which test are you taking? Okay, how are you preparing for it? Because I want to give you and point you in the right direction. Because I don't want you to go in there like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. But at the same time, if you're not sure what your skill set is, there is a freebie. Okay, there is a freebie. As soon as you go in, after you take the tour, there is a link that gives you that free skill set. So you can test out your skill set to see, hey, are you really test worthy? Or not test worthy, but test ready? Or, yeah, this will be the place that you need to go to. Yeah, you might want to think about this. Okay? All right, so you're doing your ASVAB? Good. Because I also have a couple sales going on. So one is the starter kit. So just in case you want to know where to get started, that means you can have volume 1, all right, and this is all the digital copies. Volume 2, this is for the instruction. Now, with the instruction, you need to practice. Yes, it does come with some practice problems and quizzes, but I'm also going to give you this, the practice exam. So I give you 6 full-length tests. It's 35 questions in each. Okay? You basically are doing a mock test. So you're just sitting down, block off some time, and you're going to do some problems. Okay? Time yourself. That's part of the problem. Sometimes you guys are running out of time because as you practice, you're trying to memorize what you got for training. You got free packet, you got PDF, you got like something from a course, and you're trying to memorize instead of understanding so you can do process of elimination. Okay? So this really has 210 practice problems on there, plus the instructional, plus when we look at volume 1, you get these extra practice problems. Sometimes when you look at the answer key, you're like, I think I get it. So what I decided is I do a video recording of all my stuff. So the video recording of volume 1 plus the physical books of 1, 2, and 3, all of that is for $42. Okay? Plus a reassurance because I blocked some time off. So if you have a quick question to get yourself unstuck, you can come to the reassurance session and ask your question. Okay? It's not personal or private tutoring, but if a lot of people don't show up, hey, you got a little bit extra tutoring going your way. All right? So that's what I do. So you can, one, I would love for you to DM me and tell me which test you're taking. Okay? Shani Boo, I appreciate you. Just make sure you message me. Okay? Just shoot me a message. Shoot me a quick DM. Tell me what test you're taking and how are you preparing for it. And also, if you can, tell me when you're going to take the next one. When are you planning on? All right? So, before I skedaddle out of here, I really want to leave you with this. And this is like coming from my heart. I know. It's the picture. You're like, Audrey, did you do that? Yes. I didn't say I was an artist, but my message can come through. All right? The reason why a lot of you guys are having problems with this test is you're trying to take shortcuts to try to fill in some of these branches. But the problem isn't because you suck at math. It's not because, oh, I'm just really bad at math. It's because we have to work on your foundation. Your foundation is the root of it. That's your adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, your fractions, your percents, your decimals. Okay, some of the distance, rate, and time formulas, some of the age problems. Those are your roots. Those are your basics. And if you're not strong with those, then you're not going to have a strong trunk. Okay? The trunk of your tree is your algebra. So that's your equation of the lines. That's your graphing. That's your slope. That's everything. You will still have a trunk of a tree, but here's the thing. It's not going to be as strong because your roots are weak. And we need to strengthen this up with the foundations as well as the soil in which it was planted in. It needs to have that practice. You can sit and practice, but you need that guided practice, that good nutrients that you're going to need so you can go into algebra and then easily branch out into the other disciplines. Okay? Same thing with TEAS tests. Yes, Millie, same thing with TEAS tests. So think of it as a tree. We need to improve our roots so our tree can grow big and strong and we can be able to at least have a basic understanding. We don't have to be geniuses. Okay? The strength is not in the branches. The strength is in the roots. Okay? Not a problem. Okay? So, anything, go ahead and reach out to me, DM me. And then we can talk about what is your next step, maybe even help you plan things out so you can actually reach that. Now, if you're doing TEAS, which I saw Millie, you are, make sure you guys are following a blessed RN, okay? She is a whiz kid, 100% when it comes to dosage calculations. That's the thing that you guys struggle with. You struggle with fractions and you struggle with conversions. You really need to understand those because for you, when you guys are trying to get into nursing, you don't want to be rounding. Oh, no. You want to be very precise because that's life or death. Okay? So make sure you follow her. She also has a YouTube channel, so if you want to take a sample or if you can't catch her live here on TikTok, you can at least go to YT. All right, look at some of her videos, and then you can take it from there, okay? All right, perfect, Millie, definitely. And if you do ever reach out to her, just tell her that I sent you, and then she'll understand. She'll probably treat, not like she doesn't treat anybody poorly or anything, but she'll be like, oh, Audrey sent you? Oh, okay, what you need? She's going to go straight to the nitty of the gritty, because she understands, all right? Okay, so I am going to end this live. I am actually going to I'm going to be like about 5 minutes. Let me just double check on my cats. I know, they're always crazy around this time of night. I don't know, they sleep all day and now they're like, woo, let's party. I'm like, no, mama's tired. All right, not a problem. So if you need any kind of assistance, even if it's like the TEAS test and you're like, yeah, I need more dosage calculations, or if you have a younger child, I still do online tutoring, but I'm going to be truthful. I think the books and having the resources is really going to be your best bet because then you're going at your pace instead of waiting for when I have openings. So like if you want to study at 10 o'clock at night, you can do that. All you have to do is scan the QR code and then just start working on the videos. Okay? Right? Okay, so let's see if I can hide. Yay, I can do it. For like a couple days, I couldn't get into it. So now I can close like a normal human being. All right, so again, if you need any assistance, go ahead and DM me. Just DM me, tell me what test you're taking and what you've been doing to prepare for it and roughly when you're thinking about taking it again. All right, so I will see you guys here. What is tomorrow? Tuesday? Yep, I'll see you here again at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But here's my thing. If you need to take that test, just watching my videos, it's nice, but it's not organized. I just basically pick whatever I want to pick randomly out of the sky, and I put it out there. And if you're studying that way, that's probably why we're missing those points, because you need something that's going to be consistent. You need something that's going to give you that accountability. You need somebody that's going to give you that structure, and whenever you get stuck, you do have someone that you can go to. That's going to be the difference. All right? All right, everyone. Have a great night, and I will see you in the DMs.